Hopefully some of you guys shot your own turkeys. Wild turkey is completely different than the crap you get at the grocery store, that's for sure. It's good stuff, a lot more lean, but anyways, happy pre-Thanksgiving, yo. Thanksgiving's one of my favorite holidays. Tradition I started with my wife and kids. We do it every year. I mean, we always shoot pumpkins after Halloween, but we also shoot pumpkins on Thanksgiving after we eat. I know some people like to go watch football games or whatever's going on, but yeah, we go out and we go shoot some pumpkins, have a good time with it. Um, that and also when if it's still warm enough, hell, sneak in a fishing session too while we're at it. That's a great thing about South Dakota. So much stuff you can do. Uh, all the outdoor stuff at least, you know. Other than it sucks when it's really cold, but hey, is what it is. You got to live with life, right? But yeah, so I've been dropping content on Berna and all that less lethal defense. Now, you know, if people feel safe carrying that around and they feel like, I'm okay as long as I have this, okay, good for you guys. Myself personally, I think it's one of the worst possible things, to carry. One thing I kind of had in my mind, and I was thinking about this, I know some of the states, of course, with very strict firearm state laws, regulations, all that junk. A lot of states you can't have guns, or cities you can't have guns, or whatever. Some places, you can't even carry a damn pocket knife around, which is just really weird to me because living where I live, I mean, having a pocket knife on you or a Leatherman or some sort of multi-tool. But hey, whatever, high volume crime places, right? That don't allow guns but have the higher crime rates. Anyways, but these Bernas, I'm watching the commercial for it. First off, how it got in my algorithm, probably because I was making fun of people for them. But I did that one live where I believe I spoke about it, or maybe I dropped some videos about it a month ago or whatever. But I'm watching the commercial. Guy gets out of the car. He's got a fanny pack on. Okay. Talks about how he feels better and safe and all that stuff. Then you got the next part, guys like, oh, it's something that's less lethal, so I don't have to worry about taking a life. Those things are less lethal. They're marketing it as if you're not going to kill somebody if you shoot somebody with it. To be honest with you, and this might come as some surprise to some people, lethal force is using anything that could possibly cause death, regardless of the severity of it. So you look at these pepper ball guns, okay? You're thinking, okay, you know what? Nobody's gonna die or they're gonna get hit. It's just like being maced or whatever. Could be. For all you know, that person, I mean, they're a criminal. So in my mind, I don't give a rat's ass. Whatever happens to them, happens to them. I mean, you take a risk when you're going to want to rob somebody or commit a violent crime or whatever the case is. Whatever happens to you being the assailant, that's on you in my book. Stand your ground 100%. So, somebody getting hit with one of these pepper ball guns, are you going to get in trouble for concealed carrying it around for starters, depending on state laws and all that shit? Something you guys might want to consider. If you have to have stupid permits to carry around a firearm, why waste your time buying one of these things when you can just buy a firearm if you're allowed to have them, as long as you get your permit for it? So that's something to take into consideration. The one thing that, the other thing that's very concerning about it to me is they've made them so they look fairly similar to any of your basic polymer handguns that are out right now, whether it be Glock, SIG, Walther, HK, FN, whatever. Some of the pistols that we're seeing with polymers. If somebody's going to attack you and assault you or commit a violent crime against you, probably already have a gun, because criminals are known to have those even when they're not supposed to for some reason. Weird, huh? Yet, the regular citizen, not allowed to have it, doesn't carry one around because they're law-abiding. So take that into thought. Now take into thought, you pull out a pepper ball gun or whatever that looks like a real gun, they already probably have their gun on you, because that's what criminals do. They want to get the drop. So you're already at risk. You're going to fire off a few rounds from a pepper ball gun. not really incapacitate the person, and they can still shoot you. Because I'll tell you what, one thing, if people are on drugs, or if their energy is just, if they're just jacked from adrenaline or whatever, kinetic balls, pepper balls, whatever, they're not going to give you the advantage, like the big advantage that they try to market in these videos, for starters. I mean, look at it this way too. How many gunfights people have been shot, but it hasn't incapacitated them enough to where they can stop shooting at you? Some people, you know, they get hit 3, 4, 5 times, whatever. I mean, shit, 50 Cent got hit 9 times, right? But they still have a firearm on you. They're shooting. You're not killing, but they are. You know, something to think about there. I would rather, if I'm going to get, you know, I mean, like, the other thing is you do end up killing somebody in self-defense. What state you're in, if it's not a stand your ground or whatever, you might be facing criminal charges. I mean, these are things to think about, and they still don't really cover these types of things with these commercials and crap like that I've seen. You know, you would think they would be like those pharmaceutical companies where this drug may cause heart attack, failure, seizures, whatever. You know, you would think that with these pepper ball guns, they would kind of go over the fine lines like that in it and give people the impression that you can still kill somebody with this. So, you know, there's the marketing concept of that. Now, the other thing I don't like about this Byrna is it is a step forward for them trying to take away real firearms. I totally feel that way. I think about it because then I think, oh, people are complacent and like, oh, you know what? I'm going to be safe if I have a pepper gun. So why do I need to have something, you know, that's going to shoot high projectiles or whatever, that's going to kill somebody? Wrong. People are still going to kill people. It's going to happen. That's how it goes. I'm a little bit irritated with some of the questions I've been asked about it, or people demanding that law enforcement should be like some of the law enforcement agencies over in European countries where they don't carry firearms that can have lethal force and all this shit. What if the cops need lethal force? That officer, you know, the very most important thing, you know, that he has to do every single day is make sure him and his partner, if he's a beat cop, whatever, detective, I don't know, makes it home at the end of the day. And once again, criminals aren't going to be like, you know what, I'm going to rob a place, but this time I don't have to worry about the burden of killing somebody. I can just shoot them with my pepper ball gun when I rob them. No, the criminal's not going to do that. I mean, nobody wants to kill anybody, but a criminal's not going to give a shit about that. I mean, it's, you know, it makes no sense whatsoever. So, you know, these are some things I thought about on this. Firearms are for us to protect ourselves from tyranny. That's the whole point. Now, what if our government does turn into a tyrannical institution or whatnot? All the citizens here need to be able to take care of themselves, protect themselves, their family, their community. Pepperball gun is not going to stand up against loyalist tyranny whom may be already trained, whether they be former military, or law enforcement. Something to think about here. So you're going to pepperball them. They've already got the edge on you because they've been trained either shooting in combat. You know, I might sound like a prep nut right now, but this is just thoughts in general. I mean, I've been maced. You get maced, you go through CS gas, you deal with all that crap. And I'll tell you what, it's effective to an extent, but and yes, people can still die from it and all that junk. But fact of the matter is, protecting yourself from tyranny, they're going to have all the gear, they're going to have the training, they're going to have the toys and arsenal to shoot at you with. So, I mean, it's just a lot of things people don't really think about. I think a lot of people think that the Second Amendment is just straight up for defending yourself, which it is, but it's not just defending ourselves from criminals, it's defending ourselves from tyranny. And, you know, that's just one of the main things that hammer into people's heads of how important it is. But, you know, like, if this pepperball gun thing makes people feel safe, okay, go for it. But I'm going to stick with more traditional form of, you know, hanging out with my buddy John Browning or, you know, Smith & Wesson or whatever. You know, that's those are the two people I'll turn to, not pepperball. So, the Pepper Ball Company has this like marketing thing where they're kind of aimed towards liberals too. And that's just, you know, they're not telling the truth. I mean, 100%. They use less lethal, not, you know, non-lethal or whatever. But like I said, nothing's non-lethal. So I don't know, just things that are mulling around in my brain today. Just that, and it's just there's been some Better Business Bureau problems. I'm looking up civil suits to see, what some of these lawsuits against Barron are for. I'm sure there's wrongful deaths and things like that. And that's another thing you always have to consider and be concerned and worry about too. Criminal charges, the state has the burden, the government has the burden, of presenting the facts that you had violated laws and your criminal charges and all that shit. Civil cases are less difficult for, a decision. I mean, we've seen it time and again. There might be a criminal case, like for instance, the famous O.J. Simpson murder trial. He was acquitted of the charges. However, in a civil court case later on, he still got hit. So if I'm gonna kill somebody in self-defense, man, you have to go through all this. Why? I mean, think about it. You're gonna end up probably killing somebody anyways with one of these pepper guns. You might as well carry a firearm around, and for the exact same reason as you're going to be judged by 12 anyways, depending what state you're in. So, I mean, that's my fact on the matter. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And it's a fairly common saying. I know tons of people have said it multiple times, but that's another thing for people to think of. Yeah. So yeah, man, I mean, like, that's my Thanksgiving rant, guys. But as far as like what my title was or whatever on this show, shooting the pumpkins and fishing, I like to get all the guns ready. All I have to do is pull them out of my safe. They're in their cases, ready to go. Ammunition, got the ammo cans, reloading mags. I don't know. I love it. I love. You guys all know I love shooting. I love shooting with my family, and I'll tell you what. One of the most prideful moments that I have is like watching my kids shoot, racket, doing everything safe, being responsible. And it's like, oh, good. My kids, they know what to be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. I mean, it's, and watching how good they are, how good of a marksman they are. I mean, I've said it on here before, man. My daughter, dude, she's wicked with a rifle. I mean, way better than I was at her age, and I'm not gonna lie, probably almost better than I am now. But rifle's never been my strong suit, so it's like long distance rifle. But it's I don't know, prideful moment for a dad, man. It's a prideful moment, when you watch your kids when you're all out fishing or whatnot. They catch their own fish, do everything, unhook it, whatever, all by themselves. It's like cool. Or like my oldest stepson just got accepted into college. Cool. It's those moments in life. And then, I think about Thanksgiving. I think about how much I'm grateful for my family. I mean, I've got 3 awesome kids, awesome wife, wonderful wife, very lucky, very, very lucky, very grateful, great family, whether it be my parents, my brothers and sisters, cousins, everybody, I'm a pretty blessed guy, and I've said it before, pretty privileged. I've lived, served, worked with a lot of great men and women over the years. Some I wish, I wish I was still in touch with, but the thought of them every now and then is kind of nice. And maybe, the great thing about Facebook and social media is it's easy to look people up and, see how they're doing or whatnot. But anyways, that's just my Thanksgiving thoughts, guys. You guys all enjoy your holiday. Have a great time with your family and friends. And we'll continue on, see where we go from here today. Take care, guys.